This video has been prepared by EPB Center team in the context of a service contract for the European Commission. It is part of a series dealing with some basic concepts about energy performance in buildings. This video intends to give a reference to understand where energy is considered. That is, understanding terms like energy need, delivered energy and primary energy. These terms are all used when defining the energy performance of buildings. So let's start with energy needs. Energy needs is the energy that has to be provided inside the building envelope to satisfy the desired services. If it is heating needs, then we have to face the transmission losses, but we have some help from the useful gains. So in general, heating needs will be thermal losses minus useful gains. When it comes to cooling needs, the gains are all heat that has to be removed by the technical systems, and we have some help from the useful losses. There are also other types of needs like domestic hot water needs, ventilation and lighting, which are not directly linked to the envelope but to the activity of the occupants within the building. Energy needs do not involve technical systems. The goal of technical system is precisely providing the energy need. Technical systems are made of several subsystems, but when considering them, the result of the calculation is the amount of electricity, fuel or any energy carrier that has to be supplied through the assessment boundary so that the technical system can provide the energy need. The more efficient the system, the less amount of energy carrier is required. So we know everything that happens until the assessment boundary. But then how can we sum the different energy carriers and what happens outside our building? Because the real burden is how much energy we shall extract from our non-renewable sources. Both questions are answered by the concept of weighted energy. And probably the most common weighted energy indicator is primary energy. We call primary energy the amount of energy that has to be extracted from non-renewable sources or renewable sources for each kilowatt hour of energy carrier which is delivered to your building. So if we take for example gas, to deliver 1 kilowatt hour gas at the assessment boundary, probably you extracted 1.1 kilowatt hour because some gas was used to power the turbines, push the gas through the pipeline, and something has been lost because the pipeline is not completely tight. If we consider now grid electricity, this is generated by a mix of generation systems that can be based either on non-renewable sources like thermal power or on renewable sources like hydropower. So in this case, we will have to take into account that for each kilowatt hour delivered, we had to use both some non-renewable primary energy and some renewable primary energy. And these two accountings will be kept separate for non-renewable and for renewable primary energy. There are two possible reasons for the difference between the amount of delivered energy and the corresponding amounts of non-renewable primary energy and renewable primary energy that are taken from the sources. One possibility is a conversion efficiency, for example in a thermal electric plant. Another possible reason is losses in a grid, for example in the electricity transport and distribution network. These conversion and transportation loss are also called overheads, and there might be a difference on how you want to consider them depending on the fact that you are evaluating non-renewable or renewable primary energy. Considering non-renewable primary energy, any overhead adds up to the burden of extracting more energy from non-renewable resources, so you may wish to consider them all. Concerning renewable primary energy, you might be concerned by the limited amount of this resource. In that case, you might prefer using the figure that includes all overheads. If you think about the renewable energy ratio, you might prefer to indicate only the renewable energy that really reaches the assessment boundary and contributes to supplying the desired services. So you might have a difference in the consideration of overheads for renewable and non-renewable primary energy. Don't forget to have a look at the technical report 52000-2 where these questions are discussed in more details. Here is a complete picture, so that we can have a brief summary. We started considering the building envelope and the activities within the building. The result is the so-called energy needs, that is the energy required to provide the desired services. Then we take into account technical systems. They have losses, they use auxiliary energy, they can be rated or compared using the efficiency or an expenditure factor. The result of taking into consideration technical systems is the amount of delivered energy, that is, energy carriers which are supplied through the assessment boundary. Last but not least, we have to convert the amount of delivered energy into weighted energy. That is the effect of each kilowatt hour of each energy carrier on the environment. So this results into non-renewable primary energy, renewable primary energy, total primary energy is the sum of the two previous CO2 emissions, cost or even polluting emissions. And to complete the picture, nowadays there might be also exported energy, which makes determining weighted energy a little bit more tricky. For this issue, please see the dedicated video. Thank you for your attention. This video has been prepared by EPB Center team in the context of a service contract with the European Commission. The information and views set out in this video are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect the official opinion of the European Union. Neither the European Union institutions and bodies nor any person acting on their behalf may be held responsible for the use which may be made of the information contained therein. Thank you.